we're talking about Thanksgiving, which is just around the corner, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about what we can do with leftovers, because as much as I love a big Thanksgiving dinner, I also love to eat the leftovers, but then after a day or two, I get a little bit bored of turkey sandwiches. So
Bobby has some good ideas for you.
Oh, fabulous.
And I'm going to tell you, get ourselves ready for the actual holiday, like Thanksgiving, for instance. We plan and plan and plan and plan. And then the next day is the leftovers.
Right.
And we're like, what are we going to do with it? You know, and then you're kind of tired from the day before. You don't want to start thinking about planning again. But you have all this fantastic food that you've already cooked. And you probably have some family left over from the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do with it? Well, a couple of ideas. I mean, you can definitely make a sandwich, you know, a classic turkey sandwich. But what I like to do is make a turkey Reuben sandwich. It's slices of the roasted turkey breast, Swiss cheese, and then what we do is we actually take a coleslaw and we we dress it with like a $1,000 dressing. So I start with some Hellmann's, some ketchup, some mustard, some pickles, a little bit of vinegar, and then we slather that on with the coleslaw. So it actually creates lots of good moisture and flavor and texture as well.
Right. And you can get this recipe at hellmans.com. So it's and Bobby's got great. I'm going to try the mushrooms. That's going to be good. I'm going to start out with that for my dinner.
The mushrooms are really terrific. And then also for another leftover idea is paella. Now, so I was saying to somebody the other day that paella is a fantastic dish because it's a rice dish. And it's obviously a Spanish dish by origin, but paella is becoming very popular in the States now. And when you can take a lot of the vegetables that you have left over from the night before and incorporate it into the paella, and especially the leftover turkey. And then what I like to do, and this is sort of the secret weapon of the paella, is make an aioli, which is a classic thing to actually add to a paella. Aioli is a garlic mayonnaise, but you can make a flavored mayonnaise by using, starting with some Hellmann's, and then you add a little bit of smoked paprika and some lemon juice and a little bit of lemon zest, and then you stir that into the paella, and it actually gives it a beautiful glaze and, of course, lots of color. And it's a one-pot dish, and Lori loves that.
I like that because, after you cook that big Thanksgiving dinner and you have all those dishes to clean, who wants to keep staying in the kitchen cleaning dishes? So I think one pot is genius. You just, one pot, you're done, and less cleanup, less mess, and everyone likes it. And it actually really is. It's really tasty.
Right. Just add some, you just take some rice, some seasoning, some herbs, lots of the leftovers from the night before. If you want to throw some sausage in there or some turkey sausage, and of course the chopped up turkey, and you have a delicious one-pot meal.
That sounds delicious. So is that something that you would cook in like a crock pot, or is that something you put on the stovetop or in the oven?
No, right on the stovetop. I would cook it right on the stovetop. Absolutely. Maybe like in a heavy cast iron pan or something like that.
Okay, great. That sounds delicious. Wonderful. So, I mean, at Self, we're really keen on finding low-fat options. So what are some ideas you might have for making these a little bit lighter? I mean, can you use a lighter mayonnaise?
Yes,
or
Hellmann's has a great, Hellmann's, half the fat, half the calories.
Hellmann's
Light is a great mayonnaise.
Yeah,
and it tastes just as good as the regular Hellmann's. I use it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the flavor of Hellmann's, there's no reason not to use the light.
Yeah.
Half the calories, and actually Hellmann's Light is made with all cage-free eggs.
Cage-free eggs.
So it's all good all around.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's good. It's real simple ingredients. It's great.
So I think you mentioned something about a mushroom stuffing. What's that?
Well, it's actually stuffed mushrooms. It's actually an hors d'oeuvre.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's actually an hors d'oeuvre or an appetizer for Thanksgiving itself. And these are really simple. We make cremini mushrooms. We take cremini mushrooms, which are basically baby portobello mushrooms, and we roast them. And then we take the stems with some shallots and some herbs and spices and some garlic, and we saute all that up. And we stuff the mushrooms with the mushroom stuffing. And then I make a glaze out of just two ingredients, some Hellmann's and some balsamic vinegar. We put it right on top, and then we roast them in the oven. And it just has, it's just a burst of flavor. It's just one big bite of burst and a burst of flavor.
Now, if you were to have any of that left over, could you cut them up and throw them also in the paella?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question about it. I mean, I think mushrooms are fantastic, and especially for, for the holidays. I mean, they're so earthy and they make perfect sense. Mushrooms make perfect sense somewhere in your meal, and this is a great place to add them.
Yeah, that's great for vegetarians too if you're not filling up on turkey.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you just a general sort of safety question. How long after you made all of this great food can you eat these leftovers? Is there a expiration date? When do you need to toss it out?
You know,
You know?
you have to be really careful about that. You know, I say like 2 days and that's it. You know, you want to be really careful, and so I wouldn't go any further than that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nobody wants to get sick after Thanksgiving
Exactly.
dinner. Well, thank you so much to both of you. These are really great, delicious sounding ideas. I appreciate it. I can't wait to try them.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.